My story is very tragic. Unlike any others, it all started with a beautiful day when my parents decided to take a cruise and go to another country to start a new life for themselves and me. I was just a little baby when they made this decision of their lives. The first day was a breeze. They were happy that they are finally starting fresh, but little did they anticipate it would be their last trip. The next night, black clouds started covering the sky. Soon, it started to rain heavily. Then storm came our way. The ship was rocking very hard. It was hard to sit still. Everyone was panicking, and slowly the ship started breaking and sinking. I was crying in my mother's arm. She whispered in my ears, "Everything will be okay, my child." She put a cloth on me and put me on a wooden rack to keep me safe. I was crying heavily. The ship soon sank and people started to drown one by one. It was a terrible sight. All hope was lost. Far away, a mermaid was seeing all of this happening. She couldn't do much to save the ship, but when she heard my cries, her heart softened. She decided to help me. She couldn't leave a baby all alone in the storm like that. She gave me her necklace and took me underwater. I was able to breathe in the water with the help of necklace's magic. Hey there, my name is Ariana. Before continuing, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Her name was Alora, the queen of a hidden mermaid city. She didn't have any children of her own. That's why she decided to have mercy on me. She carried me to the mermaid city swimming. There, she hid my legs from the guards and entered the palace, where her husband King Tethys was. She explained everything to him, what happened with the ship, and how I was the only survivor. I was helpless and had nowhere to go. It was the middle of the ocean, she told him. Let's raise this child as our own. At first, he was angry and said no right away, because for centuries, he was engaged in wars with humans. He never trusted them. But when he heard my cries and came closer to shut me up, I looked at him and started laughing, holding his finger. His heart softened. He agreed with Alora, but under one condition: she will always have to wear a tail all her life. No one has to know whose kid it is. She herself doesn't need to know her identity. We will declare that she is ours. The kingdom finally got a princess they deserved, or so they thought. King Tethys was the one who arranged a tail for me to wear for the rest of my life. I grew up with mermaids always hiding my secret and wanted to know more why I was different than my parents. But I kind of pushed that thought down. Maybe they knew something I didn't. You see, I was different. While the merfolk swam with elegant tails, I had to swim with a fake one. It was not always easy swimming like that, but I had good friends who cared about me. Life was pretty magical in the mermaid city. I learned to speak their melodious language, to sing with the whales, and dance with the currents. It was pretty joyful, but growing up was not without its challenges. As I grew a bit older, questions bubbled up like air to the surface. Why did I have legs while my parents had tails? Why must I hide them? My emotions swirled like the currents around me. I was often moody, a tempest of frustration and curiosity, especially about my true origins. My mom always dodged this question, or became sad each time I asked her, so I decided to not bother her anymore and search for myself. I loved to read and spent most of my time in libraries there. In a secret stash of books, I found something quite interesting. There were pictures of two-legged creatures quite like my own. Those monstrous creatures roamed around the land. With ease, they caused corruption in the land and sea. They couldn't survive underwater, and they were a big threat to the mermaid world because they were monstrous. That is why mermaids always hid away from them. I was in shock. The pieces of the puzzle started to fall in place now. I abandoned my post and ventured out into the vast ocean alone. Without telling my parents, I knew they would worry about me, so I left a note that I will be back soon. As I swam through the depths, I stumbled upon a wrecked ship. It was eerie and silent, a ghostly relic of a past life. Among the debris, I found something that stopped me in my tracks. Pictures of myself as a baby, with people I didn't recognize. That was the moment of revelation. I realized that no matter how much I loved the ocean and its inhabitants, I didn't truly belong there. Driven by a newfound determination, I swam tirelessly, navigating through the waters until I reached land. I took a deep breath. I was able to breathe without a problem. That was the first sign of me being a monstrous creature. My first encounter with the land was anything but graceful. I flopped onto the shore, awkward and unsure. It was a private beach, Of course I didn't know about that, but it was a perfect place for my first steps. I saw many two-legged creatures roaming around and laughing. They were wearing less clothes. I removed the fake tail that had been part of me for so long and tried to stand just like the others. It was a struggle, like learning to swim all over again, but this time in reverse. Gradually, I managed to walk, my steps shaky but determined. I was fascinated by everything. Wow, so this is how it feels. I was feeling complete for the first time in my life. The sand beneath my feet, the sun warming my skin, and especially the people. To them, I must have seemed like a strange being, with my wet hair, sea-soaked clothes, and bewildered eyes. It was then that I met an extraordinary seal. I don't know why, but I could understand it. It was as if the magic that allowed me to breathe underwater had given me another gift, the ability to communicate with creatures of the land. The seal, a wise and chatty seal, seemed amused by my predicament.
"What are you doing on the ground, you dumb human?"
I'm not a human. I'm a mermaid. What is a human?
"You can understand me. That's new. Why do you look so different from the rest? And what do you mean you are not a human? You are not a human. You obviously look human to me with those hands and legs. But you seem like a dumb one. Come, I'll show you around."
Seal was kind enough to tell me all about the human world, and surprisingly, he only spoke good words about them like they feed him and pet him. I was in shock. What was he talking about? With each passing day, I grew more confident in my human form, exploring the land and its mysteries. I ate my mermaid food and wore their clothes, which Seal helped me get. But even as I adapted to life on land, a part of me longed for the sea, for the family that raised me. I knew I had to make a choice that would define my destiny. Would I stay on land, trying to uncover the secrets of my past, or would I return to the ocean, to the only family I had ever known? During my explorations and conversations with the seal, someone, caught my eye. He was a young man, perhaps not much older than myself, with an easy smile and a curiosity in his eyes that mirrored my own. I found myself inexplicably drawn to him, and before I knew it, I was following him along the beach. I also saw him looking my way. Our first encounter was something out of a storybook. He noticed me trailing behind him and turned, his expression a mix of surprise and intrigue. There was a moment of awkward silence before he introduced himself as Alex. I was captivated by him, his gentle demeanor, and the way his eyes seemed to hold 1,000 untold stories. Who was this human? And is he as monstrous as we think? Alex was understandably stunned by my appearance, my soaked clothes, my unfamiliarity with the simplest of human interactions, and the fact that I seemed utterly lost. He asked where I was from, a question I wasn't quite ready to answer. Instead, I told him I was new to the island and hadn't seen much of it. Seizing the opportunity, Alex offered to show me around, and I eagerly accepted. Our days together were filled with adventures and laughter. Alex was a lifeguard at the beach. He showed me the island's wonders, its lush forests, hidden coves, and towering cliffs. We went hiking through the trails, the green canopy above us, a stark contrast to the open ocean skies I was used to. He taught me how to climb trees, a skill that was both thrilling and terrifying. I remember the feeling of the rough bark under my hands, and the way the world looked from high above the ground. We spent afternoons at the local market, a bustling, colorful place teeming with people and exotic smells. Alex seemed to know everyone and introduced me as his friend from afar. We tried different foods, fruits I'd never seen, pastries with sweet, unfamiliar flavors, and drinks that fizzed and tickled my nose. One of my favorite activities was swimming. While I couldn't show him my true form, swimming in the ocean with Alex was a joy. I marveled at how different it felt to swim with legs, the water no longer a part of me but a separate entity. Alex was an excellent swimmer, but he couldn't match my speed or grace in the water, a secret I kept to myself with a smile. Evenings were spent sitting on the beach, watching the sun dip below the horizon. Alex would talk about his life on the island, his dreams and aspirations, how he loves his job being a lifeguard. In those moments, I felt a connection to this land, to Alex, and a sense of belonging that was both foreign and comforting. Surprisingly, humans aren't bad as we thought. However, as my bond with Alex deepened, so did the conflict within me. The more I immersed myself in the human world, the more I felt the pull of the ocean, the call of my mermaid family. I knew I couldn't keep my true identity a secret forever, and the thought of revealing the truth to Alex filled me with fear. Would he understand? Or would he see me as a curiosity? A creature from a fairy tale? Not a person with a heart and soul? As I lay on the beach next to him, watching the stars twinkle in the night sky, I realized that I was standing at a crossroads. I faced the biggest decision of my life. The choice I made would change everything, not just for me, but for Alex and the world I had come to love. After several months of living among the humans and experiencing life on land with Alex, a deep longing for my mermaid family began to tug at my heart. The memories of my adoptive parents, Alora and Tethys, in the underwater city grew stronger each day. As much as I cherished my time with Alex and the new world I had discovered, I knew I needed to return to my aquatic home, at least to share my experiences and see my beloved family again. So, with a heavy heart, I bid farewell to Alex, promising to return. He was puzzled by my sudden decision, but respected it with a kind of sad understanding. I plunged into the ocean, feeling the familiar embrace of the water enveloping me, guiding me back to the mermaid city. The reunion with my mermaid family was emotional. Alora and Tethys greeted me with tears and open arms, relieved and overjoyed to see me safe. I recounted my adventures on land, the sights, sounds, and the connection I felt with Alex and the human world. They listened intently, their expressions a mix of wonder and concern. As I shared my story, I realized how much I had changed. The ocean, once my entire world, now felt like one part of a larger existence. My heart was torn between two worlds, two families, two lives. It was during these moments that I made a decision, one that would shape the rest of my life. I decided to return to the land, to live amongst humans, to explore the possibilities of a life with Alex. But this time, I wouldn't be alone in my journey. To my surprise and delight, Alora revealed a secret of her own. With her powerful mermaid magic, she could transform herself into a human, at least for a while. She decided to join me on land for a few days, to experience the world I had grown to love and to support me in my new life. Adjusting to life on land with Alora was both challenging and exhilarating. We found a small home near the beach, where the sound of the waves was a comforting reminder of our oceanic home. Alora, in her human form, was fascinated by everything, and I took joy in introducing her to the quirks and charms of human life. As for Alex, his astonishment at seeing Alora and learning the truth about me was profound, but in his eyes there was no fear, only a deeper love and acceptance that transcended my wildest hopes. Together, we explored the blend of our worlds, building a life filled with love, understanding, and the magic of both land and sea. In the end, my journey taught me that home is not just a place, but where the heart finds its true connection. Whether in the depths of the ocean or on the sun-kissed land, I found my place in the world, a bridge between two realms, living a life enriched by both. And so, with Alex and Alora by my side, I embraced my new life, forever cherishing the waves that had carried me to this destiny. Thank you so much for watching.